This is a bit that I first did in a long time ago in St. Paul, Minnesota, on a show called WITS. It was a variety show. That's right, hosted by, it was on Minnesota Public Radio. It's hosted by a wonderful guy named John Moe, and he had me on the show many times. It was always a good time, and my favorite thing that I ever got to do on the show, which was a recurring segment called Amazon One-Star Review Theater, where John would comb the reviews on Amazon for things, anything that is generally considered to be very good, and find the people who disagree. And this is my all-time favorite. This is Amazon one-star reviews of great works of literature. These are all genuine reviews. I'm not making any of these up. They are for real. Amazon one-star review theater. We'll begin with Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. This book was absolutely the worst thing I ever read. My children were scared, horrified, and bored. I found the book to pontificate needlessly, to overdress otherwise humorous situations with disgusting psychosexual overtones, and to instill in myself, at least for a day, and my children forever, a feeling of hollow sadness and bitterness at this callow author. It's been a minute since I read Charlotte's Web. Is there fucking in it? Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut Jr. While cultural pundits try to convince you that some literature is better than other literature, the truth is that all art is relative to individual tastes. Thus, it doesn't make any sense to think that a novel like this one is really any better than, say, Michael Crichton or Stephen King. No novels are better than any others, and the concept of a great novel is an intellectual hoax. I prefer Danielle Steele. And there's no basis for telling me that I'm wrong. He made his case. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. Not so fun. There was a lot of talking, but did not go into full detail of how he became Mr. Hyde. When I think of Mr. Hyde, I think of more chase scenes and anger. I also think of more scenes of Dr. Jekyll in his laboratory. Older people who like old British novels would like this book, because older novels were written in the same form. People who have a lot of time on their hands would like this book. It takes a long time to read it. Roasted. The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This is in all caps. I have just started reading this book, and I don't like what I've read so far. It is very complicated to understand, and there are a lot of characters. I am still reading the book, so maybe it will get better. The rare mid-read review. Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. It is not the best book I've read. It was really weird and freaky. The thing about it was that I didn't comprehend it much. It was really a book that doesn't suit me that much. I didn't understand it much. At times, I felt stupid reading it because I didn't understand it. If you are a person who likes reading books about fire, this book is for you. It was way out of my league. I didn't care for the Ray Bradbury, but I'm not saying I hate him. I'm saying I might try some of his other books as well as this book that I didn't like. Although this book does not fit my categories or my type of books, I would not recommend it to other people who like serious stuff. Although this book does not fit my categories or my type of books, I guess it works out. Walden by Henry David Thoreau. No comment. Now, at this point, I feel I must divulge that coming up in a little bit is a 1-star review of The Diary of Anne Frank. I understand. Now, look. Is it insane? Yes. But it's not insane in the way you think it will be. This person found another way. But just start preparing yourself for that. The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Paperback. The 1 star that I gave this book is because I was reading it from a martial arts perspective instead of a business perspective. It took a little bit to realize that this book is more geared towards businessmen. And looking at the other reviews, I guess it's really good for people looking to succeed in business. But if your intent's for martial arts purposes, I recommend finding a different translation. That's probably the issue. Is that there's a translation of The Art of War out there that's all like, hi-ya, kapow! Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. Look. You're a smart person. You know what you like and what you don't like. Unless, of course, you say you like this book, in which case I rescind my first statement! Just because some art freak with oily skin and a funny hat says a book is good doesn't make it an American classic. For lack of a better word, this book sucked. I feel bad for the guy with the oily skin and the funny hat. Because that's obviously a specific person. That's not a genre of guy. What if he reads this? Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. Not at all what I expected. This is not the fault of the author. That's fair. That's fair. They don't say what they expected, or... they readily admit, that's on me. The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. I am going to bring back Hawthorne from the dead to hit him. Ah! This is the worst book I've ever read. I consider myself open to all fine literature, but I absolutely hate this book. But the writing is superb. What happened? Yes, the writing is good. All right? I'll grant you that. Other than the writing, I hated it. I don't know if it's like a font or binding issue. The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. This novel, The Metamorphosis, in my eyes, was boring and had no point in my view. I hate this novel, and I rate it very low because it is very fictional. And And I do not think that changing that much would ever occur to mess up somebody's family that bad. I have to agree. I don't think that would ever happen. I don't care how bad your family is. Nobody's turned into a bug. Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I'm gonna burn my copy after I'm done with it, which should be soon. This book is for women. Not for a man such as myself. I do not recommend this book to anyone not trying to fall asleep fast. It goes well with my Antonia as being good fuel for a fire. Never read this. This is crap. I don't care who you are. Kind of threatening at the end. Folks, it's time. Anne Frank, The Diary of a Young Girl. I understand that the Holocaust was a terrible event in history. But why does the school system make us read this terribly boring book? I don't mean to be disrespectful. But Anne Frank is more boring than the Home and Garden Channel. She writes well, but why in the world should students have to read about her life as a young girl who only does one thing: complain? She goes on and on about nothing. It is like reading a broken record. The day our English class had its final, I threw it in the trash. Now, silver lining, they didn't say they burned it. That's a win today. I will close it with my favorite one. This is A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I don't ever remember ordering or receiving this product. I have read it before and loved it. I just don't remember this particular item.